side now and bring in Aurora, Colorado City Council member Danielle Durinsky, who's found herself suddenly in the midst of all of this brouhaha. I want to ask you, so first of all, Governor Jared Polis said that this is all a figment of your imagination. We had Don Kellner on earlier on our network today. He's the DA that represents Aurora, Colorado. Take a listen to what he said on America's Newsroom.
I strongly disagree with the governor's comments about this. This isn't misinformation. Right now there's an active investigation to a massive shootout that occurred outside of one of these apartment complexes where a man ended up dead. That's not misinformation. And these are real problems. I can tell you this is real. It's not imaginary, and it's certainly not misinformation.
Danielle, do you feel vindicated, at least partially, by those comments?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost such a ridiculous comment that our governor made. It's almost too ridiculous to even respond to. But I've known since I found out that this was happening, since I found out that there are people still living like this, and went in for myself to move them out. I know the truth. I've known the truth. Jared Polis would as well, if he would visit these apartment complexes. But you also had Cindy Romero on this channel earlier today, and she is one of the residents that I moved out. And in her interview, she said Jared Polis wouldn't last 5 minutes in one of these complexes.
Yeah, I did hear her say that. What do you think? I mean, it's not your job to figure out the governor's worldview, but why do you think he's so not even reluctant to address this, but so eager to deny it in its entirety?
Well, I think twofold. I think it's his way of taking a cheap shot at a vocal Republican. I also think politics are at play here. There's a very important election on the line in November, and I think politics are at play.
Some of your colleagues and other residents there have called out the Biden-Harris administration's immigration policies, and they are in particular citing the allowance for Venezuelan nationals which could come into the United States essentially unvetted without any intelligence or criminal law enforcement cooperation from the Venezuelan side. So you end up with a whole lot of foreign nationals living in Colorado who the United States doesn't know anything about. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's exactly what's going on. There's not enough, if any, information being gathered at the border on these folks, and how many of them are gotaways. We don't know, we'll never know, but this just absolutely shows the epic failure of the current policies in place at the southern border.
How do you advise? I mean, I know you've been involved in trying to help residents there, like you said, evacuate apartments. How are you telling them to sort of protect themselves against the possibility of this, or to keep their families safe and secure?
Well, at this point, I haven't really offered any options of how they need to protect themselves. I've just been moving them out. They simply cannot stay. I don't know how exactly you protect yourself from something like this. This is a complete takeover of these complexes. There is no staff. There's no property manager to call. There's no maintenance man to call. There's nobody to call. So
who would also be defenseless. I mean, against a dozen armed men.
Right. That's exactly right.
So yeah, I guess it's hard to really do much in terms of preparation for an event like that.
All right, let's bring in Mayor Mike Coffman, the mayor of Aurora, Colorado. Mayor, thank you very much for coming on with us. It seems it's tough to even get some confirmation of the details of what is going on there. First off, can you confirm whether or not this gang has taken over these buildings there in Aurora?
So there are several buildings actually under the same ownership, out-of-state ownership, that have fallen to these Venezuelan gangs. I'm trying to walk it back and do the investigation as to how there's a concentration of Venezuelans in these three buildings. Somebody put them there and somebody funded it. Whether it's federal government or not, we're trying to find out who. These gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants, and so they've in fact have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents. We have now or have had it is ongoing operations with a task force of local law enforcement, state law enforcement partners, and federal law enforcement partners to root them out. And arrests have been made, but these operations are still ongoing.
With the arrests that have been made, are these confirmed gang affiliated members?
You know, this is an organized criminal effort, whether it's Tren de Aragua, that remains to be seen, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, if they're Venezuelan migrants and they're conducting crime in an organized manner, they're a problem.
So, okay, so you're able to confirm that this Venezuelan gang has indeed taken over at least some of the buildings. You're saying at least 2 of the 3. And what I just heard from you is you don't know how they ended up there. And you even made a suggestion that they could have been sent there by federal officials. I heard you suggest. I mean, do you have any reason to believe that to be the case?
So here's the problem. I think we're a victim of a failed policy at the southern border because what you have, Venezuela does not according to my law enforcement, Venezuela does not cooperate with the United States in sharing criminal histories. You've had a third of the country leave. You've had these massive waves of migrants coming across the border that many of them crossed the border illegally, were arrested, asked for political asylum, were not adequately vetted, were released into the country. The city of Aurora, we did everything we could to quite frankly keep them out of the city because it's not our problem. This is a federal problem. This is a problem borne by the federal government. But what we're trying to find out and what I believe occurred was that federal agencies worked with some of our local nonprofits and put them there. Now, most of these people are very good people. But there's a criminal element that, from what I understand, what law enforcement is briefing me, that often follows them, intends to exploit them within their own migrant community. And so we believe that is happening now. Now we're the 51st largest city in America. We're with over 400,000 population. This is only several apartment complexes, but nonetheless, I'm not going to surrender any part of this city to a criminal element.
With all due respect, it's no longer, I mean, just in the hands of the Fed when you've got, we've heard reports that this gang has green-lighted its members to attack your local police. What are you doing about that, Mayor?
Well, we're aware of that in the Denver metropolitan area, that there are elements of Tren de Aragua here. And so, we're, in terms of how our police operate, the tactics, what they're doing to protect themselves is our number one priority.
I mean, I think about how Aurora tried to position themselves versus Denver in all of this, with Denver being Denver's the sanctuary city status in a way, correct? And Aurora sort of tried
Denver's historically been a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
Aurora has not. And that's why we took the position again that we were not going to expend any public dollars on this migrant crisis, nor would we be a conduit for state or federal dollars to provide assistance. Not our problem, federal problem, border issue. They need to resolve it, not us. But somehow we got sucked into this, and we are a victim again of this policy.
That somehow is that's a big somehow. And I would expect that you're probably very personally trying to get down to the bottom of that. When we watch this video, we've had this video playing all day on our network. We started airing it obviously earlier today, and our viewers obviously see this and think complete shock that this would be, apparently, have you confirmed that anything about the people on the screen, this building, can you tell us anything about this video and what we're seeing?
Well, yeah, it's that intimidation factor. We've got, Venezuelan gang members who have gone into an apartment complex where there was a concentration of Venezuelans and pushed out the property management through intimidation, and now they're intimidating the tenants there to pay them the rent and probably extort other things from them. And so it's a terrible situation. Certainly not the whole city. It's 3 apartment complexes, but it's very serious nonetheless. And so hopefully we're going to be able to. It's fun. What the challenge is in part that you have. This is unfortunately part of the fabric of Venezuela, where you have the police in Venezuela are only there to protect the government. They're not there to protect the people. So there's so much criminality.
Wow.
And unfortunately, some of that has come up with the migrants here, and we're confronting it. And so it's again.
Yeah, just a last question on that point, confronting it. I know you're a busy guy, and I know we'll let you get going because you've got a huge problem to tackle there in Aurora. Just finishing up with this Cookie Monster gang leader, so he's called. Okay, the New York Post has reported on him setting up operations right there in your town, Mayor. Cookie Monster is there. I mean, this guy's responsible for some heinous crimes. I mean, what are you actively doing right now to get a hold of him and arrest him?
He's been arrested. He's off the street.
That would be news. He's gone. He's off the street. Where is he?
Right. He's being held. He's been apprehended.
I would imagine he'd be a huge source of information as to how this gang ended up in your town.
Well, I think it is beyond that. Is how did this whole community end up in our town? Because I'm concerned beyond the gang issue. There's a secondary issue. In the secondary issue, desperate people do desperate things, and you've got all these migrants coming up. The Venezuelan migrants don't have access to, they have a legal status in the country pending their asylum claims, but they don't have access to a work permit for 6 months after they're here. Wow. And so there are some secondary issues that we're real concerned about, but right now the priority is this gang issue.
And the feds are involved, correct?
The feds are involved.
Got it. Mayor,
law enforcement is involved. Law enforcement is involved.
I understand. Mayor, we appreciate you coming on. People have a lot of questions over what they're seeing right there in your town.
Sure.
And we've got more on the migrant situation coming up. Some buses, apparently migrants tried to get on some elementary school buses in California. We're going to have a dad related to that situation coming up. Mayor, thank you.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee Michelle. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and the share button. Also, drop your thoughts in the comment box and let me know what you think about the story here. I know y'all have been hearing all over social media about the Venezuelan gangs that has taken over Colorado. Look like the officials there are now starting to take action since a video had came up on social media about it, but it shouldn't even gotten this far, it really shouldn't have even gotten this far, and it's a damn shame that nobody believed them people, they didn't want to do whatever, but Trump tried to warn y'all, but since y'all don't want to listen, this is the shit that's gonna happen. So when y'all get Kamala Harris in office, just imagine the shit that's finna happen. So in this article, it says the Aurora, Colorado Mayor Mike Coffman announced Friday that the city is starting the process of clearing the apartment buildings where gang members have taken over. In a statement posted on Facebook, Coffman shared the Aurora City Attorney's Office is preparing a court document to request an emergency court order to clear apartment buildings where Venezuelan gang activity has been occurring by declaring the properties a criminal nuisance. Why y'all need a court order document? Just go over there and get them motherfuckers. If it was the Crips Blood or whoever, y'all would have went and got them. I mean, what you need a court documents for is people that's innocent people there that is being abused. I've heard somebody been unalived. Is a lot of dumb shit that's going on. Like, why do they have to wait on some court documents? Like, that don't even make no fucking sense. If they're not supposed to be there, get them the fuck out of there. Okay. So this will require a judge to issue the order with a goal of getting these properties back under the control of the property owners. What? Why do they need to go through a judge? That don't even make no sense. In the meantime, the law enforcement task force set up to disrupt and arrest Venezuelan gang members in these buildings will continue its operations. I strongly believe the best course of action is to shut these buildings down and make sure this never happens again. That's what Coffman says. So now y'all gonna shut these buildings down. The people that was living there don't have no home. The people that own the buildings is not going to receive any income. Probably have to start all over. No telling what damages has been done. Wow, now that's crazy. One has already been picked up. In an email to Fox News, Aurora Police Department confirms that the gang leader, Cookie Monster, is currently in custody in relations to a shooting on July 28th. The report says that the man seen in the video that has gone viral are armed members of the gang, according to the Department of Homeland Security. I'm gonna put a couple of videos in here so y'all can see what's going on. After assisting residents Cindy and Edward Romero on Wednesday, they were able to share a video which has since gone viral online and on air. Colorado Governor Gerard Harris has come under fire for his handling of the situation, including from Romero herself, saying the Democrat wouldn't last 5 minutes in the building. That's what she said. After a request for comments from the Fox in response to Romero's statements on America's reports, the governor officer responds by saying Colorado is a zero tolerance state for illegal activities. I can't tell. It's not zero tolerance because they've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, for real. So I don't know if it's a zero tolerance. The governor hopes that the city of Aurora shares this basic values and will enforce the law. Over the last month, Governor Pelosi has been in regular contact with the city of Aurora, and the Aurora Police Department has offered a statement assistance to support their efforts if requested. That's what the spokesperson said. If Danielle Jawiski has evidence of illegal activity in Aurora that can assist the investigation, it might even be illegal for her to withhold it from Aurora's police department, and she should file a report immediately. The state has been ready for weeks to back up any operation by the Aurora's police department needed to make the Aurora's county safe again. Jersky noted she isn't the only local official speaking out, though the governor's official singled her out in the statement. There are other council members speaking out on this. Like there's other council members speaking, and they just don't have the platform that I do to really catch fire. But there are other council members speaking out. It's not just me. That's what she said to Fox News. Jariski celebrate in a call with Fox News. I'm happy that what I've been saying is now confirmed. It is a shame that people had to suffer for as long as they did, but I'm happy that this gang will now be addressed. And that is true because they've been going through it for a minute. Y'all gonna let other motherfuckers come from wherever we don't even know and do this to these American people. I don't care about race or none of that. These are people's home. If your home ain't your castle, I don't know what is, okay? Like, this is just ridiculous. And they waited so long because they didn't believe the shit was going on. Okay. But I just wanted to bring this story to y'all because y'all keep on voting for these Democrats. And if y'all can't see it, that they want these migrants to come in, set up shop, and, I guess take a place of the American people, which is not cool at all, We're here first. You know what I'm saying? We should have the first of everything, you know what I'm saying? But it's not going that way. It's not going that way.
Well, I just want to bring that story to you guys because it seemed like The Venezuelan migrants are targeting Dallas, Colorado, California, and maybe a city near you. So we need to be safe, vigilant. Make sure you pay attention to your surroundings just to know what's going on, because we have to be safe. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know these people. We don't know where they come from. We don't know what they want to do. But don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and your share button. And also drop your thoughts in the comment box and let me know what you think about this story. Thank y'all so much. You stock up on your supplies, your blickies, whatever. Get whatever you need to get to protect you and your family. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.